Word out of Alabama's first fall scrimmages, things went really, really well, and it's hard not to get exceedingly excited about the Tide. Let's talk about 2025 expectations and how that scrimmage went. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome to Way Offsides, your favorite Alabama talk here on YouTube. Welcome in, Bama fans. Let them hear you loud and clear. I hope you are all having a marvelous conclusion to your weekend. Do me a favor. Go down to that comment section right now and leave a big Roll Tide. Let me know where you're from. And tell me who you're most excited about seeing take the field when the Tide take on the Seminoles in Tallahassee in around 20 days. We are so close. You can smell it. Fall camp is in the air. Scrimmages are happening all over the country. Fans are flooding social media with what they're hearing, and we're going to do the same. We're going to tell you everything that we're hearing out of camp and bring you the fall scrimmage, the first fall scrimmage insights. So we're going to talk a lot about quarterbacks today, of course, because that's what everybody likes to talk about. But we're going to talk about some other guys too. While you're over there leaving that comment, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give this video a big thumbs up. Helps us out. And when you help us out, we can help you out by bringing you more content. Also, feel free to share content over on social media. So let's jump right into it. Right off the bat, the first thing that we're going to talk about here at Way Offsides, that's Way.
Way, this is all caps, W-A-A-A-A-Y, Way.
Thanks, Skip. We're going to talk about the quarterback position. This has been a huge position of note over the fall, over the summer, even back in the spring. Alabama brought with them high quarterback expectations in 2024 during Kalen DeBoer's first year. There was a split in the fan base as to what that expectation should be. There was a lot of hype surrounding quarterback Jalen Milroe leading into the 2024 season. It got a lot of people excited, and then he didn't live up to the expectations. His final year at Alabama as the quarterback, it was just a little bit too inconsistent. The offense was inconsistent, and when Jalen was inconsistent, the offense went with him. And a lot of times the defense struggled because the offense could not give them time to just rest. And we've seen that happen before in previous Alabama seasons. I believe that Jalen Hurts, there were a couple of games that Alabama lost because Jalen Hurts couldn't move the ball unless it was on the ground, and the defense was on the field a little bit too much. And so Milroe kind of brought that same inconsistency with him. Now, I do expect him, just like Jalen Hurts, to get much better in a system that's more appropriate for him. And he's going to do fine, and we wish him nothing but the best. But coming off of a disappointing season, which a 3-loss regular season, it's wild that that's disappointing. I'm not trying to change the expectation in Alabama. It's just when you really take a step back and look at it, you go, man, there are teams who would love to be in that position. First-year head coach, and they win 9 games. Of course, you don't want to lose on the road at Vanderbilt and on the road to a really sorry Oklahoma team, but with no wide receivers. However, Alabama managed to do that. They've scathed through it. They were still able to recruit really, really well, and they found themselves starting the 2025 season in the top 10 with the third best odds to win their conference. I think Alabama, unlike last year, the hype is legit, because what Alabama has needed to go is a quarterback who is not run first. I don't know what it is about football these days, but everybody gets really excited about run first quarterbacks, and in the long term, it does not work. You need a guy who's throw first and can be mobile. Tua is a great example of that. He would get hurt, but in terms of being a throw first quarterback, he could run, but he was deadly through the air, and that was his primary weapon. And I think Alabama has missed that for 2 seasons. And I think they're going to get it back this year. I don't think it matters which one of these 3 guys is the quarterback. I think all 3 bring talent through the air and on the ground, consistent talent through the air and on the ground. Maybe not Keelon Russell so much. I think he's got some ways to go, but looking into the scrimmage that happened yesterday and the notes that came out of that, it's pretty obvious to everybody that Ty Simpson's probably going to be your starting quarterback. Kalen DeBoer said that he aims to officially name the starter by next week's scrimmage. We all fully expect that to be Ty Simpson, right? Anybody in disagreement? If you're in disagreement, leave a comment below. Tell me, no, it's not going to be Ty. I don't see at this point how you could think it wouldn't be. But in terms of the quarterback, it's been made pretty clear by Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer that Alabama has 3 guys who they feel comfortable with who can do the job. Obviously, Keelon Russell comes in. He's the freshman. There's going to be some learning stuff there. There's going to be some time where he's got to mature and develop into that quarterback role. And so you don't want to throw him into the fire and destroy him too soon. So let's take him out of the equation. So it really comes down between Austin Mack and Ty Simpson. Austin Mack has the leadership. A lot of people forget that this was a 5-star quarterback too, coming out of high school. It's not like Ty Simpson was just some scrub that nobody wanted. He was a good, lethal pro style. He can be dual threat, but a pro style quarterback. And I think that's what's going to make Alabama's system go. When you look back at Michael Penix Jr. at Washington under Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer, he was a pass first quarterback. He could run, he could hurt you on the ground. So can Ty, so can Austin Mack. But I just feel like being able to sit back in the pocket, assuming that your offensive line is good enough to give you what it needs to sit back in the pocket and pick a defense apart, is what Alabama does outside of run the ball. And we're going to get that to there. So stick around. So in the quarterback situation, it looked like no picks were thrown. That was the word from Coach DeBoer coming out of the scrimmage. Good decisions were being made. There were some few explosive plays, not to the tight ends though. He was clear that the tight ends were out there moving around, but they didn't get a ton of explosive plays from their tight ends. So that's a position that is probably going to need to grow into itself. Obviously, Cuevas comes back, but some of these younger guys will need to grow into the expectation there at the tight end position. But Alabama's going to have plenty of weapons. Obviously, Isaiah Horton, Rico Scott is a name that is starting to be talked about a lot more. You've got Jalen Hill, who could potentially get some significant playing time. Obviously, Ryan Williams, everybody talks about, and Jeremy Bernard. Alabama's in really good position there for these wide receivers to make their quarterback look good. And so I think Ty Simpson can easily get the job done. Now, what does Alabama's run game look like? Well, that's tough. Alabama has not run the ball like Alabama usually runs the ball. They're probably not going to run it as much as Alabama used to run the ball. But keep in mind, Ryan Grubb, Kalen DeBoer, that hive mind coaching duo, did have a 1,000-yard rusher at Washington. And so we have guys who are extremely talented in Alabama's backfield. Obviously, Jam Miller, it sounds like he had a good day yesterday, had a few big runs where he was able to kind of break some tackles and get into that second level of the defense. He struggled with that a lot last season. So I think the running back game is going to be better. I think in a lot of sense, we like to get pissy with running backs when they're not breaking off huge runs and stuff like we were used to seeing 10, 15 years ago. But sometimes it's on the offensive line. And that is a big area of note for Alabama in the sense that Jaden Roberts did not scrimmage yesterday. So Geno Vandermark jumps in there at right guard. He had been working with the ones at right guard for a while. Working with Ty Simpson, who was getting a lot of 1 snaps. I think Keelon got some 1 snaps. Austin Mack got some 1 snaps. I think everybody got snaps with each team except Ty did not work with the third team, if that's what I remember Ryan Grubb saying. So take that for what you will. But, Jaden Roberts is a guy that he's super lovable. He's very likable. He's a massive human being, and everybody's excited to see him grow into that position. Give him time. I don't know really what's going on. Maybe he's banged up a little bit. But Jaden will do Jaden things at some point this season. Now let's move over to the defense really quick. Let's talk about the defensive line. Coaches talk specifically about the defensive line. Kalen DeBoer said that he liked what he saw. He liked the aggressiveness. He liked what was taking place on the defensive line. And that's about all we got. Alabama has some freaks on this D-line. They bring back several guys who probably either could have gone pro and been a late draft, or could have honestly transferred somewhere else and gotten paid some money. Tim Keenan is one of those guys. But there's some folks that are coming in this year, or not coming in, who will be highlighted this year, who I think will make a very big difference for Alabama. Who'll play more, get more significant playing time. Obviously, we talk about pass rush. You got to talk about some of the linebackers too. But in terms of the D line, James Smith is a guy that I'm really, really excited about in 2025. So much so we did a whole video on the kid. He really started to pop towards the second half of the season last year. Jeremiah Beeman is somebody else. Alabama goes and gets Kelby Collins out of Florida. Steve, I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I always butcher it, but you know what I'm talking about. And then you got guys, Tim Keenan, LT Overton, who will kind of lead the charge there. So I think Alabama's wealthy on the defensive line. And then at that second level, that is the area where I'm a little that's the one that kind of makes me uncomfortable a little bit. And that's just because your leader, Deontay Lawson's a little banged up. There's tons of talent there at the linebacker position, but it is young. Now, there were some guys in the secondary at the linebacker position who played in the scrimmage that these coaches, Ken Womack, Kalen DeBoer, were really excited about. Dijon Lee is one of those guys out there in the secondary. Ken Womack pretty much said he's a freshman, but he does not play or look like a freshman. If you've seen any videos of him through fall camp, you understand why Ken Womack is saying that. Another guy, Justin Hill, will be somebody who I think could get some playing time, especially with the depth and youth at that linebacker position being what it is. Luke Metz had a really good scrimmage yesterday. So I think defensively, everything seems to be moving how we want. Out in the secondary, the pieces that we're familiar with, that we're really excited about, performed well. Damani Jackson did great. Keon Sabb played well. Obviously, Bray Hubbard was a big name that folks wanted to talk about, and it sounds to me like Hubbard did not skip a beat. He has not slowed down. His motor is still revving up as high as it'll go. So he was apparently all over the field making plays yesterday. What I read, the observation I read, pretty much said that the secondary, the only reason that they did not pick off several balls was because the placement was so good by the quarterbacks. But they were close several times. So that should get you pretty excited, especially when you read some of the observations coming out of other places. But I think Alabama, as a whole, they have all the pieces. They have everything they need in place to go and do it. And I'm really starting to buy in to the hype. I'm trying to keep my expectations tempered and realistic, but it's hard not to, because really, I mean, if Alabama could run the ball, if the offensive line gives quarterbacks just a little bit more time than they gave Jalen Milroe, you bring in Ryan Grubb. We all know what that defense is supposed to do. It's going to be really hard to beat them this year. They're going to be well coached. Kalen DeBoer, historically, I say this, I feel like on every show we do, Kalen DeBoer historically in his second year is really, really good. Everywhere he's been, he's really good in his second year. And he's never had this kind of talent. So I get it. He's got to go through that gauntlet of the SEC, kind of offsets the talent a little bit. You've got several top 15 teams this year who he'll be playing either at home or on the road. But I think if anybody can do it, it's Kalen DeBoer and this 2025 group from Alabama. I'm really excited about it. I really am. It's hard because as a fan, I want to get hype and start jumping around and we're going to win a natty, this and that. They might, man. They seriously might. They're going to definitely be in contention for it at the end of the year, I feel like. But I'm also trying to, not be so biased, but it's hard. It's hard not to get excited. Maybe it's just because we're so close, 20 days out. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below and tell me. Thanks for sticking around with me. We got a lot more content coming up, so be sure you are subscribed. If you're not, you don't know what you're missing. You do not know what you're missing. So hit the sub, leave a comment, leave a big thumbs up. I love you. Do you love me? Tell me you love me. That was weird. That did not come out how I meant for it to. I'm sorry. Thank you guys for sticking around. We absolutely love each and every one of you. That's what I meant to say. As always, say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands. Horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.